What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Base Damage. Today, we're bringing a video to you talking about some of what I consider and what some of our community considers to be some of the weirdest card effects in Weiss Schwarz in general. And there's a lot. Let me just put it that way. This is just a handful of some of the ones I felt would be kind of neat to show off and highlight, but also ask members of our community and our Discord group to also share some of their favorite cards that they thought were interesting in various ways, whether it be from goofy card effects like you're going to see here, or maybe uncommon effects that you just don't really see anymore, or you just don't see like a particular type of, like, say, an advantage engine type thing. And we'll get obviously further into that. But obviously, there's a whole bunch that I found that I wanted to show. And one of the first ones, this is one of the first cards I found in Weiss that just struck me as really funny. Like, why the fuck is this effect here? It is this Miyuki from Lucky Star. We do not have this in English, much sad, but also because it's just adorable. So art, already gets a 10. But the effect, and we're going to go over here to Heart of the Cards, it is Miyuki Completionist General. It's a 1/16K. It's a double rare also. This is even weirder. The very, very first effect, when this is placed from hand to stage, it gains plus 50 soul for the turn. You're not reading that wrong. Even if I go back here, you can see where it says plus 50. So, I mean, like, it gains plus 50 soul. When the fuck is that ever gonna... It's never going to stick. Like, let's be real. It's, like, no shape, form, or fashion is that damage ever going to stick. So it's just hey, your opponent keeps revealing cards from the top of their deck until the damage gets canceled, basically. It's just kind of crazy. I don't know how else to put it, but like, there is one other card that I've noticed in Weiss that has a similar effect. It has other effects as well, but it actually has a purpose for the damage to get canceled. Is this event called God Blow from the Konosuba set. I think it's from the first one. It says it's a level 1 0 cost event. Choose one of your goddess characters until the end of the turn. That character gets plus 50 soul and the following 3 abilities. 1, it can't side. 2, the character facing this cannot become reversed. And up to 1 time per turn when damage dealt by this card is canceled, draw up to 3 cards. You then discard 2 cards. So it has an end result of being able to net you some draw cards and filter from your hands. You do get some kind of advantage off of this, but like, you can't even reverse the character you're hitting with, whoever you give this to. It's based off of, obviously it's flavorful from the anime, which, let's be real, Konosuba has a ton of flavor in a lot of their cards. But this being one of them, where it shows off how useless Aqua really was, especially in the early episodes, where she's like, this is my strongest blow, and she punches the frog, and it does abso-fuck-all-nothing. And just... So it's like, you have to frontal. You can't even reverse the battle opponents. Your damage is gonna get canceled. It's just a matter of how many cards your opponent's gonna mill. And then in the end, you get to draw 3 and discard 2. That can be helpful, but this is also just not something I can advocate running, but you do you. The next ones we're going to be talking about is a little bit like, once again, in the realm of like, just weird, like, why is this here? And I'm going to show off a Yu-Gi-Oh card to kind of give an example. And it's Yu-Gi-Oh Friendship from Yu-Gi-Oh! This is not in Weiss. I'm just using it as an example. When I was growing up and I saw this card, it said, offer your opponent a handshake. And if they do, some shit happens. But the idea of like, oh yeah, I shake my opponent's hand in Yu-Gi-Oh! Was like really weird to me. So the idea when I saw this Kazuma from Konosuba telling you to play rock, paper, scissors was just as like mind-blowing to me. I'm like, wait, you gotta do what? Because I not that I can recall, I don't think Yu-Gi-Oh! Has anything for it, but I don't think Yu-Gi-Oh! Has like rock, paper, scissors or anything, but like I said, I thought the handshake thing was like the weirdest thing in the world to me. And it's just, me, as a kid. But then I saw this and I'm like, there's no fucking way. So this level 1 Kazuma, rock, paper, scissors master Kazuma, is a 5,000 attack. as an experience effect. This is all for free. When this is placed on stage from hand, if the total level of the cards in your level is 2 or higher, play rock, paper, scissors with your opponent until you lose. If you won 4 or more times, you may deal 4 damage to your opponent. You have to win 4 times, that's whatever. But it was the thing of like, Kazuma was like, I will always win. Once again, it's very flavorful. I mean, even the flavor text says, I've never lost at rock, paper, scissors. It's just really crazy to see this. And then when I was doing the research, I found several other cards in English alone. There's probably more in JP, but in English alone, there's several other cards that do rock, paper, scissors. This one from the Milky Holmes Learn to Play deck. It's a 003K. When it's placed on stage from hand, you can stand one of your you can rest one of your standing characters. Let me not be dyslexic this morning. If your opponent has a character named with the same name, Joint Investigation, Kokoro, and Shallow, which this was intended to be like, once again, it's from a Learn to Play deck, so your opponent's gonna have the same card, more than likely. And if you pay the cost, play rock, paper, scissors with your opponent until someone wins. The winner draws a card. It's just really crazy to see this. I'm like, okay, obviously it's on a Learn to Play deck. You're never going to see this anywhere else. Boy, was I wrong. Yoshiko has it as well from the Sunshine set. This 215K states, when this card is placed on stage from your hand, play rock, paper, scissors until someone wins. And if you lose, all of your other characters gain 2k power for the turn. You're actively trying to lose with this one. That's even weirder. But like, and also it has a anti-change stock bomb effect. So it's like, yeah, I want to lose rock, paper, scissors. So you're like actively trying to go, okay, what is my, what do I need to do the opposite of? And then you're just gonna like try to crash this into early play or something. But then there's one that's even weirder. And this is extremely flavorful from the No Game, No Life set. This level 1 event of Sora from No Game. This was when he challenged Stephanie to a game of rock, paper, scissors and said, I'm only gonna play paper. So this says, play a game with your opponent. Declare that you will play paper and play rock, paper, scissors with your opponent 1 time. If you win with paper, draw up to 4 cards. If you tie with your opponent, if you tie with paper, or win with rock or scissors, draw up to 2 cards. If you lose or tie with rock or scissors, put this card into your clock. It's like, so if you lose with paper, you don't take any damage. But if you win with paper, you draw like 4 cards. And then there's like, so this is just really crazy. Just for the fact of like, it was a mind game he was trying to play with Steph. And like, I'm trying to remember the scene. I don't remember if he actually won with it or not. But he's like, yeah, I'm only going to play paper. And it was like a mind game where I think he won with it. Because she was like, oh, obviously he's doing this to actually throw me off and he's going to play something else. So I'm actually going to play rock because he's going to do scissors. It was this crazy mind game. And the fact that they translated this into Weiss on an event card like this was really, really cool. We're going to move right along into some of the cards that the community also showed me as well that they thought were just weird or just like you don't see it anymore. And this first one's going to be from Koji. Obviously, he's got to represent, the Vocaloids, the Project Diva. This 1/1 green event, I'll Miku Miku you for reals, in parentheses, says choose one of your characters with Miku in its card name, and it gets plus, I don't know if you can see that from here, but I'm going to read it out, 3,939 power until the end of the turn, and it gets an ability on reverse of the battle opponent. You can search your deck for a Miku and add it to hand. But it doesn't get 4,000 power, it gets 3,939. It's just really like a really awkward number that you just don't really like I've seen one other like really awkward number and I didn't put it in for this video, but this is an Ozki from Hololive that's like her whole thing was around like the number 17 because she only had 17 viewers at her debut, and like a lot of her cards will make it so she has like 1,700 attack or some like version of that. And so seeing like the number flavor, because 39 has to do with Miku as well. I forget the exact reason that has to do with her, but I know it's flavorful to the character. And then going to the next one, this is just awkward. This isn't even like crazy lore or anything. This was just really funny. Is this Meme Oshino from Bakemonogatari? I think it's from the first Bakemonogatari set. I don't remember if it was from like Nizemona or any of the others. It's a 103k. During your opponent's turn, all your characters get 500 power. The weird part is this is a brainstorm. It is a spammable brainstormer. Pay 1 stock, reveal 2 cards from the top of your deck. Put them into your waiting room. For each climax, draw a card. It's spammable, and you can actually plus off of it instead of having to... Okay, most spammable brainstormers, which I'm also going to highlight in the next card as well, most spammable ones, there's a drawback. Like, oh, you have to discard a card, or typically it's like a discard a card. Like, oh, you paid 1 to mill 4, you revealed 1 climax, salvage back a character, but then you have to discard a card afterwards. So this one's just, you only reveal 2, and you get to draw. So there is one other that was just as crazy that I got shown this, and it took me a second to realize. It's this Vivio from the Vivid Strike set in JP, and her Vivio Takamachi is a 001k. It gives a buff to all of their Nanoha, but it also is a brainstormer of pay 2, and it's spammable. Mill 4, for each climax, salvage back a character from your waiting room, add it to hand. It doesn't have to tap. You can pay it as many times as you want, and despite it being spammable, you don't have to discard a card. So both the Meme and this Vivio being spammable, you still don't have to discard, which is still just as crazy. Like it's something that you don't really see in Weiss now. And this is from like a different era, obviously, just like way early into the game, where they're like, we're gonna do some funny shit. But the funniest one, and in my mind, the card out of all of these other weird ass cards and just like crazy effects, the one that takes the cake in my mind is this 3/2 from Zombieland Saga, the legendary Tai Yamada. We're not going to go over the entire card. We're just going to go over the very first effect. It's a 3/2, 10,500, but it doesn't stop there. This is legitimately the craziest effect that I've ever seen. This is a rare. I want to get a copy of this card just for the lulz. It has an effect right here where you see it says plus 10k. Just keep that in mind. The first effect of this, and this is the only one we even care about. We're not even going to go over the rest of it. If the local date is March 8th, and both you and your opponent are physically in the Saga Prefecture, this gains plus 10,000 power. On a specific day, in a specific area of Tokyo, or is some specific place in Japan. You have to be at a physical location on a specific day for this to gain plus 10,000 power to become a 20,500, which I think is the highest I've ever seen a card be able to get in without like any other like crazy buffing effects. Like I know there was like a Madoka that got really big. I don't remember if it got up to 20k or if it was like really close, but like by itself. And obviously it could buff even more, which is even crazier. But just the fact of it has to be, I don't know the flavor behind this one. I haven't finished Zombieland Saga. I think I watched part of the first season. I need to finish it because I know it got a second season. But this is just crazy that it has to be on a specific day and in a specific physical location. There was one that was like from Yu-Gi-Oh as well that was like get your game on. That is like if you attend it, you can only activate this card if you attended a specific event. And that's like on par with this in my mind. So legendary Tai Yamada, this is definitely a legendary card and will go down in like just me remembering one of the craziest fucking effects ever. Like just this is so weird, and I there's a lot of weird shit in Weiss Schwarz. There's a ton of just crazy card effects, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. Maybe we'll do another video like this at some point in the future, but this is like some of the best ones that I found personally, as well as shared from our community and our Discord. If you also want to join our Discord to help with future videos like this as well, feel free to join. There will be a link in the description, and join up there and just, enjoy the crowd. We're trying to build the community up a bit more. And obviously, I hope y'all enjoyed the video as well. Thank y'all very much for watching. This was extremely fun to make because I found some of the craziest stuff. I had to go through so many cards for this, you have no idea. This is just a chunk of the ones that I found. So with that, thank y'all very much for watching again. And yeah, like and subscribe if you want. If not, hey, thanks for checking out. I hope you got a couple laughs off of seeing some of these crazy shenanigans. And we will see y'all on the flip side. Peace out for now.